reading this book. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. It's free to sign up or to subscribe. And, it doesn't cost you a thing. It helps me out a lot. Please, and thank you in advance. Okay, so I am reading the book, Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And where I left off yesterday, the lady was talking about how, she had gotten offended by something one of her friends said or did when they went on this little trip, like to the beach or whatever. So she ended up just stewing about it the entire time and pretty much ruined the trip for herself because she took on the spirit of offense. And all she remembers from that day is that she embarrassed herself, and it was just a bad day for her and only her. Everybody else had a good time. Okay, I'm going to pick up where I left off. That was a silly day with pretty insignificant offense that kept me all bent out of shape. Please know I want to acknowledge and absolutely recognize that much of the pain you and I have been through is way more serious and complicated and devastating than that day at the beach. But that parking lot is such a good visual of what holding on to offenses does to us, and where the cruel soldiers of unforgiveness will always lead us: to isolation, to the emotional darkness of broken relationships, to spiritual darkness with heaped on shame, and to a darkened outlook where we are unable to see the beauty that awaits just beyond the parking lot. What if I had been able to release the offense and move forward that day at the beach? What if I could do that now? The ability to see beautiful again is what I want for you and for me. Forgiveness is the weapon. Our choice is moving forward or the battlefield. Moving on is the journey. Being released from that heavy feeling is the reward. Regaining the possibility of trust and closeness is the sweet victory. And walking confidently with the Lord from hurt to healing is the freedom that awaits. That's what this book is, a journey where you'll discover new ways, healthy and helpful ways, to process your pain. Ooh, somebody's written in the book already. Oh no, they just underlined some stuff. That's not bad. Now let me assume... see, it's hard to see without my glasses, and even harder with my glasses, which is bizarre. Okay, now let me assure you what it isn't. It is not a message that diminishes what you've been through or makes light of the anguish you've cried a million tears over. It is not a message that justifies abuse or abandonment or affairs that are all wrong, no matter how it's flipped or framed by others. It is not a message that refuses to acknowledge how powerful feelings are and how powerless you can feel when you get flooded by pain triggered by memories, ignored by those who are supposed to love you, or brushed aside by those who should have cared for you. This isn't a message that demands you excuse the cruelest and most horrific crimes committed against you or those you love. Nor will it nod in the direction of forgiveness, demanding all relationships work out with all people. Sometimes that's neither possible nor safe. In fact, in these pages, we will do the work of untangling the erroneously commingled ideas of forgiveness and reconciliation. And this message definitely isn't something that will be preached at you with pointed fingers and accusatory tones. I can't pick those messages up, so I definitely won't be laying a message like that down. But while it will offer truckloads of grace, it is fueled with God's truth. After all, grace gives us the assurance that it's safe enough to soften our fearful hearts, but it is the truth that will set us free. John 8:32. Grace and truth are kept together throughout Scripture. John 1:14 through 17. If I only offered you grace, I would be shortchanging you on what it truly takes to heal. While the truth is sometimes hard to hear, God gives it to us because He knows what our hearts and souls really need. It is His truth that sets us free. Forgiveness is possible, but it won't always feel possible. Forgiveness often feels like one of the most maddening instructions from the Lord. True that. It's a double-edged word, isn't it? It's hard to give. It's amazing to get. But when we receive it freely from the Lord and refuse to give it, something heavy starts to form in our souls. It's the weight of forgiveness that wasn't allowed to pass through. And for me, that's mainly because I've misunderstood something so incredibly profound about forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't something hard we have the option to do or not do. Forgiveness is something hard, one that we have the opportunity to participate in. Our part in forgiveness isn't one of desperation where we have to muscle through with gritted teeth and clenched fists. It isn't fighting through the irritation and wrestling down the indignation. It isn't sobbing through the resistance of all our justifications to stay angry and hurt and horrified by all they did. This is what I once thought. But when I wrongly think forgiveness rises and falls on all my efforts, mustered up grit, conjured maturity, bossed around resistance, and gentle feelings that seem real one moment and fake the next, I'll never be able to authentically give the kind of forgiveness Jesus has given me. All right, well, I am done with this for now. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope it has been of some encouragement to you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. It's free to subscribe, and it helps me out a bunch. Have a wonderful night. Talk to you all another time. God bless you all. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Tired.